Oh, hey. Hey, thanks for joining me. Sorry, got a little lost there. Cleaned out my ears, put in a pretty special I want to talk to you guys about. And yeah, this is my impression of Xenns Mangird Up. Um, these little guys. One's kind of white, and the other one, I'm doing a horrible job with that one. Okay, camera, not yeah. Don't focus on my face. Perfect. So a little bit different than you see in the commercial one, and I'll mention that a little bit. You're not going to see me ever unbox anything or show you the cables or the ear tips or the case if it comes with one, because really the cases are useless. Most of them you never use them. They sit in your drawer and you've got a nice pile of them. Cables, and then they dry. But unless you're paying megabucks, $30 cable on AliExpress, bingo. Um, so I won't talk about that, but I wanted to talk to you about the ups. For me, I never really heard about it. I don't think this IM gets as much play as it probably should. It definitely should. It's a special IM. Honestly, later on, I have some context. I have a Let's Sure EJ07M resin that I had retuned from the metal shell. I added, or I tried to add, plus 3 dB of sub bass. That's what it sounds like they added to me. They added something. It was originally a lava that wasn't really a lava, but it came back as something good. I'll compare it against that. And why, if you were comparing maybe an EJ07M, and when we're thinking about picking one up, maybe you should consider the Xenns Up a go, and I'll explain why. Having both. So you see the faceplate's a little bit different, and that's when I bought them used. He said he got an upgrade, and he showed me the link that they sent. Tabot store will upgrade or change the custom faceplates to a whole bunch of different kinds for no charge. Right, let's sure. Uh, Back to the Xenns Up. I've how it came about that I actually bought these. I had just followed the hype train, the love for the heydays, stuck them in my ears for 5 minutes, and went, no, no, that's not balanced. I don't care what somebody says to me. And so that was a different video. I just posted that one. But this guy here, anyway, the heyday got sold real quick to somebody that had the ups. And we made a deal. And wow, my mind is blown, honestly. I think this one is going to be in, and we'd love to have a new definition of IEM. We'll call it a bass fi, right? The Xenns Up unapologetically has bass, but it also has mids, and it has dings, bings, sparkle in the high end. That the overall tuning of the up is quite special. You put that together with its stage and the way it just it just puts the emotion into the music that you're listening to. It's a really cool replay. It really is. If the T's are anything like this, and I don't have a T's or a T2 to compare it with, maybe I should. And should I buy one? And if so, which one? Really, if you want to comment that, I'd appreciate it. The T's and the Xenns are different in the fact that tuning wise in a graph, The Xenns have 5 dB bass, from sub bass to mid bass, more up to 500 hertz, and then it kind of levels out, and the Xenns on the graph show not only more high frequency in that spectrum, they also are way more extended. So, and that actually comes part of the tuning and the play of the Xenns up. And what is sort of the special sauce about this IAM. There's a bunch of these IAMs coming out. Fat frequency, Maestro Mini, you know, making huge waves just because it's got bass, right? But it also has enough mids and sparkle to not drown anything out and make it just a super fun, enjoyable IAM. And if that's the way IAMs are going, warmer signatures, that kind of, I'm down. If they sound anything like the Up, then yeah, put me in and take my money for sure. The on the Ups, you have sub bass extension, and it's fast. Like even on it's the beryllium driver that's in here that is quick. It snaps pretty fast, has decay, but in a really, really beautiful way where it's still snappy but has note weight. And that's pretty rare, honestly, to get that. Transitions to a lot of mid bass. Like it's a very gentle slope from sub bass. And that glide is gorgeous when it comes to representing male vocals, when instruments, drums, kicks, they just sound more natural to me. Female vocals, again, you could, depending on source, with the Up at least, be too thick. If you were using a really warm source, like I tried it on a couple of the tube amps I have, and it's too warm for me, and I like warm. But it just didn't add the sparkle if it was too veiled. It's a really, I will say something about the Xenns Up. It's very source sensitive. It really is. Tip wise, not so much. I always use wide bore tips. I will take stage over added, or the assumption of added bass with the degradation of stage. That's not going to happen for me. I would rather go the other way. So always wide bore for me, whether it be short, long, whatever. Get them in as deep as I can, get a great fit. Right now on these ones, I found the Osla Crystal. Man, they go. So if we talked about that was the bass. I mean, fantastic, great mids, great vocals, male vocals, fantastic. Female vocals, again. If we were using a warm source, they would sound too husky. If using an AKM DAC like my Shilling Labs J2, it was perfect. It didn't add too much warmth and added enough detail. Threw it out, balanced to the topping A90D, great combination. The Ups actually sound great on every dongle I had. They were actually, no, that's not true. The E1DA SG3, the 9038 ESS DAC. Normally, I love that thing for its clarity, but no. It was making the Ups harsh for me. So the Shoe with the Cirrus Logic and the Ibazo 160 again with Cirrus Logic chips are like that. Okay, we're not an ESS, brilliant kind of dead neutral, sparkly highs to just a, halfway between an AKM for me and an ESS is what a Cirrus Logic is. The Shoe is a great little DAC for sure. And the sound out of the iBasso I love over an ESS. So that's just my preference maybe. But with the Cirrus Logic and the ups or the AKM, that was magic. That was a good synergy for sure. Something to keep aware of. The magic isn't just in the bass with these things. They're not a one-trick pony. They really aren't. Again, you got the bass, you got the really wicked vocals. You hear instruments, clean, clear, jazz, fantastic. And nothing is drowned out from the mids and the vocals to the highs and the bass. Nothing is drowned out. It just has that right balance. It's a balanced IM for me. It has everything that I wanted to do, and nothing it doesn't. So the extension on the ESTs, I was comparison in a little bit to the EJ07Ms. They both have EST drivers, same manufacturer, I believe, Sonyan, Danish. It's the implementation, probably a little bit have to do with the cavity and the tuning and the everything really about crossover, how it's crossed over, and the tuning really make a big difference. The ESTs of the ups are the correct implementation. They really add the zing and the sparkle, the twinklies in the high end and the really high end, and the highs are very, they're not sibilant. They're very smooth. They're there. They're present. You hear all the instruments correctly. It's not high frequency shy, which, looking at the graph, you would say, with that much bass, maybe it's going to get drowned out, but that actually isn't the case. It is, as I said, special. So really, that's my sound impressions of the stage. Just wanted to touch base there. Better than the EJs. Wider, a greater sense of spaciousness, and definitely more stereo separation. There was more things going on, but not in a spastic way, in a very enjoyable way. That, again, it goes to the whole tuning of the up, where it's just making you feel that you can sit back, you can enjoy all genres. It's an all-rounder. It doesn't have any. I mean, if you're a treble head or your bass lenient is your preference, then the ups aren't going to be for you. They are what they are, and what they are special in their presentation and their tuning. Just to compare that with the EJ07s, back and forth. They both have sub bass. Well, the retuned EJs I have sub bass because I had to pay for it. The vocals are, I mean, the Let's Sure are on the borderline a bit warm, and to me, I love that. It's my preference. But the vocals on the ups, because of the added note weight to the mid bass, sound more natural. They just sound better, more musical. Same as all kind of bass instruments. Everything sounds more natural with the up. And I'd say they're for the vocal mix. One thing I noticed with the ups is you'd be listening to the singer and you would hear the background singers as well, and it was coming into the mix and making the entire emotion of the presentation, the micro dynamics of that song were, you know, the differences, the things that you could hear versus the EJs were more with the up, and the way it presented the overall mix of vocals and instruments and sparklies going on and sub bass happening over here is just more rounded and smoother. The if you were looking at a EJ07M, even on sale prices like $6, I got to tell you that you got to be. I have heard many accounts of driver flex. You stick it in your ear and it goes pop, 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 pop. You move your ear, pop, and it's quite annoying. I said it before, for $700, that shouldn't have come out of the factory that way. They are gorgeous for what they are, but for the price, there's no way that the EJ07 is a better IEM. In no way. Staging isn't as good. The high frequencies are maybe more, but it doesn't have the same sparkly ultra high end. The ESTs aren't doing what they should be doing, I think, in my opinion here. So I mean the bass, the mids, the highs, again, they're not equal to the ups, in my opinion, from listening to both. If you wanted a custom shell, you have to pay more. It's like $120, 160 US. I think it was 120. You had to pay more in order to get a custom and get it. Whether you wanted it retuned. Well, sometimes they do returning, I heard, for no charge, but I had to pay to get it reshelled into a non-lava, which, yeah, into this that I actually would enjoy. So right then and there, you know, again, the ups are coming in less money and better tuning. These things honestly should get more play. And that's why I wanted to share that with you. They're fantastic. I did a written review. Check it out. Thanks. Cheers. Tone Deaf Mongo.